Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I'm your host, Kavita, and the founder of Power Purpose Play, a global community of women in midlife. I'm here to tell you that it's your time now to rediscover what has always been inside of you and bring that out into the world. If you're wondering what's next, but don't know quite what that is, or if you feel a twinge in your heart telling you that you have so much more to do and so much more to offer, you're in the right place. Ask yourself, if not now, when? Do you want to leave your job, start your own business, take control of your health, reignite the passion in your marriage, write that book, or at least that first chapter? Transitions like this can be daunting, but through listening to my story and interviews with incredible women every week, I hope to inspire you to take action. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hi, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I hope you're well and enjoying a beautiful weekend. Here in Canada, we celebrated a long Victoria weekend, always a symbolic weekend, really, to kind of kick off summer. For people who have cottages, it is really a nice time to open up the cottage for the summer. Everything is in full bloom, including my allergies, which I've been suffering a lot with lately. As I look outside my window, drinking my coffee, recording this, I see the beautiful shades of green of the newly blooming trees and the lush grass and flowering bushes. And I hear the sweet chirping of all the beautiful birds. And speaking of birds, something happened a few days ago, which I really must share because it provided me with so many life lessons and caused me to stop and reflect about my life at this stage and perhaps something that you may be experiencing as well. It's about our comfort zones and how we react when we are taken outside of them. You see, I was upstairs a few days ago and I was just tidying up my room, and all of a sudden I heard this frantic flapping of wings. I looked around and I saw the cutest little bird in my bedroom. I had no idea how she got there, but she must have been just recently born because she was so cute and tiny and somehow found herself in my home. I felt so bad for her because she was flitting frantically from window to window, knocking herself into them, thinking she could get out. You see, she knew where she was supposed to go, but didn't realize the barriers of the windows, which was in her way. I watched her for several minutes, not sure how I could help her because the minute I moved closer to open the window, she flew around in a panic-stricken way. Finally, we have a sliding door leading to a balcony from our room, so I was able to open the sliding door. What was interesting then is she heard the familiar sounds of the other birds from the outside, which became louder, and she looked at me with what seemed directly into my eyes. She cocked her head to one side and somehow darted out of the door with such precision and speed and into her own environment, into safety. The exhilaration she felt when she flew away was just palpable. I was so happy that she found her way home and she was free. As I thought about what had just happened or what transpired, I wondered, was there some kind of sign for me? Why did this happen, and what can I learn from this sweet little bird? You see, she found herself trapped in this unknown, uncomfortable place, and she panicked. She was completely outside her comfort zone, and if I think about it, when we as humans find ourselves in similar situations, outside of our regular routine, what we are used to, we also panic. We fly around like that little bird, flitting from one place to the next, banging our heads against the proverbial window, wishing to get out of the situation. How many times have you felt outside of the environment where you're comfortable and have panicked or felt so out of control that you just wish you could leave? This is what this little bird experienced. If something presents itself to us which places us outside our zone of comfort, we panic and don't know what to do. We fight against it, and rather than stopping, assessing the situation, and trying to grow into the situation, we try to flee, just like the little bird. But what if we do the opposite? What if we become comfortable with our new surroundings or situations, and rather than panic, figure out how to survive in this new paradigm. Wouldn't that mean that we have a new environment in which to thrive and grow? I'm sure that if I hadn't opened the door to let her out, this little bird eventually would have calmed down and maybe got used to her environment, and she would have eventually figured out how to return to her home in her own way. My point is that we often keep ourselves in our own areas of comfort because we are happy there, comfortable, and without stress or without having to push our limits. We often stay there our whole lives without experiencing new situations. Eventually, what can happen is we may become stagnant and stop growing or adapting to new situations or environments. The only real way we can grow, thrive, and expand ourselves is if we step outside of our own zones of comfort. We limit ourselves for fear of failure or judgment, or yes, even a fear of success. What is something that you have always wanted to do, but haven't done it yet, for fear of failure or judgment or success? I've had so many of these situations, especially in the last few years. You see, I was living in a pretty comfortable way for most of my life, in a comfortable career that I was good at, doing the same things I'd always done, looking after my family, going to work, the same thing over and over for many years. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but I wasn't growing. When I thought of doing something different, I panicked, just like the little bird. Recently, I jumped off a cliff on a zip line in the rainforest, which totally threw me outside of anything I could have ever imagined. It was scary, but exhilarating, and the moment I did it, I realized that I can do it. I can do anything I really want, even though it is scary. I never thought I could leave my comfortable career to pursue entrepreneurship. I never thought I could start a podcast, create a course, lead workshops, become a coach, run my own business, or jump off a cliff. But I did, and you can too. I recently met a friend who told me that she is terrified of public speaking. I was shocked because looking at her, I always thought of her as being the epitome of confidence. Yet, here she was, telling me that despite being the top in her field, she dreaded getting up in front of people and speaking. It just goes to show you that whatever fears you may have inside of you, trust me, there are others who share those same fears, the same doubts, and the same insecurities. You are not alone. We have people in our lives who shut the window for us or open it so we can fly. Choose those people who will support your growth and your dreams, and ask for help if you need it. I know that's easier said than done, perhaps, and people will say, well, I have to remain in the situation because I can't do anything different because who's going to pay the bills, or I just don't have the time to learn new skills, or I just don't have the support. We turn to excuses to stop us, to make us procrastinate on the things that we really want to do. Yes, of course, there are blocks, and there always will be. But if we don't try and slowly remove those blocks, how can we ever know what's on the other side? If you have a dream to leave your job, for example, because you feel stuck or it is not exciting to you anymore, and you want to, let's say, start a new business, or maybe you want to go back to school to learn something new, but your doubts creep in and reality creeps in, what should you do? If you listen to what your heart is telling you and the signals grow louder and louder, you must heed these signs. They are there for a reason. You can figure it out. You can perhaps start small, part-time. Begin to learn new skills on the side while you are working. Start reaching out to people. Network with people who can help. Find ways to slowly bring your dreams of your future into your present. The only way we can identify and limit blocks is to recognize them first and discover where they came from, one by one, because they will come back over and over. Once we do that, we can work to build our confidence by doing the thing and doing another thing. I was also recently reminded about the possibilities we all have in this life recently from my son. You see, I'm a proud mama, and he just heard last week that he got accepted into medical school, and he is just so excited, and we are just so proud of him. He faced a lot of challenges and got rejected more than once, but he never gave up. I find that there's so much to learn from the younger generation, as often they don't let obstacles really stop them from pursuing their dreams. They really persevere and move forward despite of them. I was also recently reminded this in my recent podcast with Samra Zafar. I'm not sure if you heard it, but you should listen to it. It's an amazing one, amazing interview. And she describes how she went from suffering abuse as a child bride to now being accepted into medical school, which was a dream she had always had since she was a child. It's interesting, isn't it, that learning from the experiences of others and from nature can give us so many clues. This little bird I told you about feels more comfortable in her nest with her family out in nature. Eventually, though, she will have to leave her nest and fly to new places. Don't put limits on yourself, my friend. Think about all that you can do and want to do, and go for it. It's never too late. And as I always say, if not now, when? You may be able to discover your why yourself, or you may need guidance. Seek guidance if you need it. You may know that I do this podcast, obviously, and I am the founder of Power, Purpose, Play. You may not know that I am also a certified life transitions and core energy coach. What that means is I help people through these life transitions, and I do it through a program I created called It's My Time Now. We will go through rediscovering your strengths, your passions, your values, and your reason for being. We will work on your vision for yourself, for your future, what may be blocking you, and how to build the confidence you need to achieve your vision. Finally, I will work with you to build solid plans which you will be accountable for. I use a process called core energy coaching, which really helps you determine your core thoughts and emotions and how we can move you from catabolic or destructive thoughts and emotions to anabolic energy levels. It's about how you interact with situations and people around you. Do they make you thrive in the most fullest possible way? My coaching practice is open for a few more clients, and I would love to walk you through my program as well as offer a complimentary coaching consultation for you. I am also offering my online course, It's My Time Now, completely free of charge for you. I have also a series of webinars which I'm offering called the Midlife Rediscovery Blueprint. And the next one is this Friday at noon, where I will cover how to rediscover your reason for being, or Ikigai. I am offering my services because I want to see you soar, like that little bird, with nothing blocking you, and with a confidence knowing that you, my friend, can do anything you really want. Reach out to me at kavita@powerpurposeplay.ca and let's talk. I can give you more details on my program, and also let me know, why do you think it's your time now? I'd love to learn more. As Oprah Winfrey once said, when I look at the future, it's so bright it burns my eyes. Remember, my friend, if not now, when? Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful week, and stay safe and stay well.